Good evening, everyone. This is Robert RJL 518 welcoming you back to another edition of World War II Leader. This is Tiger Leader. We're continuing our Poland 1939 campaign with the For the Reich objective, and we are now in the second week of the campaign, week 2, battle 1. Here in Poland in 1939. Steeler fan is first to join us for a little bit of World War II action. This is the second week of the campaign. We have 3 weeks in this objective of For the Reich. After tallying up off the board, off camera, I should say, the 6 Polish units move from enemy rear now into the enemy transit. So now they have moved forward. And I went ahead and reconstituted my units, fixed a couple, bought a couple as well, and replaced the anti-tank team that we lost, and we're able to save about a couple of special operative points, but that was about it, really. So we have an interesting force here. What are we doing in 1939? So we have an interesting battle, I think, today, as we now move into the second week. So let's go and see what we got. You can see the map there. And this map, again, is pretty much of an open map. And we're taking on a Polish artillery unit, which has 2 rifle squads, 2 mortar squads, and 4 anti-tank guns. So pretty much what we're trying to do here is knock out the Polish artillery before we go after our second battle, which is going to be against a Polish mobile force here in the Poland campaign. I have chosen 4 units for this battle, and I have chosen a experienced machine gun team, which is 1006, the experienced rifle team, which is 1002. Glessner has 4 stress on him. Weidman, who's in charge of the machine gun team, has 2. I have brought back the SD KFZ 222, and this is, of course, 721. And then we have, of course, the Panzer I, and that will be 152. Pretty much what we're facing is mostly, as you can tell here and Brian Patterson joins us here, as you can tell, pretty much every unit here that the Polish have are high explosive defense. So pretty much I chose 4 units with the best high explosive attack ability against these guys. And I've saved these 5 other units. And of course, I lost the commander for this week due to an event card. But today in the event, we're in deep mud. Now, in the advanced forces, we pay 1 less SO point to attack battalions in the transit, rear, and breakthrough areas, which is great because everybody is moved into the transit area. So the 1 SO point I was to pay, I actually got back. And we are in deep mud, so it is very the terrain here. And I kind of chose these myself to kind of simulate the mud, because the old hexes they use kind of almost look not like these right here, to simulate the mud a little bit. Again, it's open terrain except for the barn in the center. So this should be a very interesting battle. So in deep mud, we subtract 2 from enemy tactical rolls, and friendly AP units are limited to only 1x of movement per turn this battle. So the funny thing about that is so unfortunately the Panzer I and the SDKFC can only move 1 hex per turn. The enemy tactical rolls, they will be subtracted by 2. So in deep mud. So that could be very interesting to see how the Polish will go up against this force. So we are all set and ready to begin turn 1 here. And I only have 4 units to take on these guys, but they have low defense. This could be a very quick battle, as I'm trying to take on this Polish artillery unit to make way for the next battle, and I've already decided on the next battle will be the Polish Mobile Reserve, and this is going to be a difficult battle. It won't be that, well, maybe not so, well, it's got 4 tanks, half tracks, the Mobile Reserve, so this could be a very important battle before we take on a big one. We know right now, right now we only have 4 victory points, so we're still a dismal rating. If we win this one, it'll give us 2 victory points. It'll get us to 6. The next battle would get us to 9 if we win that, bring up to poor. But if we go ahead and defeat one big unit, which is pretty much what I'm going to decide to do in week 3, that should get us to good if we wipe them out, and that's pretty much everybody on the board. Okay, and to win this, to at least get a good result for the Reich. Remember, there are actually 2 Poland campaigns that DVG does. Poland 1939 is the one that came in the original Tiger Leader. The expansion has Poland 1939 Mokra, which was really for a battle for a city that took place during the early parts of the Polish campaign of 1939. And we will play that next after we do a patrol in U-boat leader. So that will be coming up very certainly, and we'll be learning the rules about that. So meanwhile, let's get started here. So once again, we have Polish forces we got to deal with, and we do have tactics, which is pretty good. So there are tactics available, and we got 3 commanders with tactics and 1 with a command tactic. I also made some more mistakes from the last game. The mortar unit could have fired into the bocage because indirect fire does not use line of sight. So when you fire, so indirect fire, and mortar units have indirect ability. So this is noted. So friendly units with the indirect fire, these units do not check for line of sight when attacking. So they could have attacked the bocage, the forces that were in the bocage unit. So that I didn't find out for sure, and I did see that. And that could have made the battle go a little bit, maybe a little quicker, possibly, since we were firing at everybody that was outside the bocage. So, of course, and okay. So, let's see how this one goes. So I've chosen our units. So it's really 4 against 8, but this should be pretty interesting. So let's get right to it, shall we? All right. So, deep mud and advanced forces. And we got to deal with this artillery unit. So let's get right to it. So first up is we go to turn 1, and we got the event card already here, so we go right to combat. Now, fast move and attack. I do have an experienced machine gun and rifle team, and do have a command tactic for SDKFC. Now, command tactics on this unit here, where it says 1 command tactic. That's a little different than a tactic. A command tactic, okay, is the same as a tactic, except the unit can expend the tactic for another unit to use. So even though this unit here has a tactic, I can give this to a unit that does not have a tactic, which is the Panzer I, and he can use it if I want. So command tactics are really interesting to utilize here as I learn more about the rules here. Spotter skill must only be in Sherman Leader. No, it's I have Sherman Leader as well. I checked the rule book. It's the same thing. I'll double check it. Maybe I'll double check the rule book for Sherman Leader as well. But there really is no difference in the rules between Sherman Leader and Tiger Leader, and there really is no difference at all. It's the same game, just different units and a couple of different campaigns and such. But that's okay, Brian. That's okay. We still pulled it out, and we know for next time. Because remember, I'm learning this I'm making this up as I go, pretty much. For the first battle, for the first round, I don't think I'm going to use any tactics. I'm going to save it. I think we're going to save. So I think I'm not going to do any fast move. So what I think we're going to, because I also do not know how the Polish are going to respond. And of course, they got -2 here for enemy tactical rolls. So they could be retreating. They could be moving off. I mean, very possible they could all be getting out of here very quick. This could be a very quick battle. So I'm not going to use any tactics in the first round. So we go straight to the enemy move. Now we got to find out, of course, to see how the enemy is going to react in this, see how the Polish are going to do. So we roll a D10, a 1 to 8, it's a D6, a 9 or a 10, it's a D10, and the Polish will be a 2. So they're still going to be using a D6 for the battle. Get to cover and attack those anti-tank guns. Yes, I hear you, Brian. Brian Patterson is my leader general. He helps me out with this. And anybody, of course, here that knows the game as well, I don't mind a few suggestions. So they're going to use a D6. So let's see what they're going to do here. Now remember, it's going to be a D6, but deep mud. Subtract 2 from enemy tactical rolls. So let's see what we got here. So the first roll for the Polish is a 1. Ouch. So that means it's a 1. So you subtract 2 becomes a -1. So that becomes a -1. So it's going to be 0 here. Now, my thing about retreat. Do they retreat on the first? Can they retreat on the first turn? Because it's -1 on here. So let me take a look at this real fast. I don't know if they can retreat, if they retreat on the first turn of a battle, but maybe they do. Very possible. So let's see here. Retreat. Move the enemy. Let's see. Let's see here. Move the enemy unit 1 hex closer toward the top edge of the battlefield. As a choice of hexes, move the unit into the hex that is cover. If it's already in topmost hex, move it off the battlefield and treat it as being destroyed. It doesn't say that can't be turn 1. All right, so let's go here. Let's begin. All right, so tank, anti-tank, and armored car. The anti-tank guns say retreat to cover. So they do not retreat off the board. They say retreat to cover. So this anti-tank gun does not have any cover to return, so he stays where he's at. So he will hold. He has a range of 3, but he can't attack anything here. So he stays put. This one will retreat to cover, which is here. And he has nothing into the attack, so he will hold. This anti-tank gun has no cover to retreat to. So that means that, I believe that means that he holds. So he holds, but he, however, has ability to attack. So he has an anti-tank gun. So 1, 2, 3. He can hit one of these guys here. He is in range. It is a 3. Okay, and against the 1006 and 1002. So this anti-tank gun gets to fire, and against 1006 and 1002, they both the one that's more dangerous to them is the machine gun team, because the machine gun team has a high explosive attack of 1, and that is 1006. So this anti-tank gun is going to try to go for 1006. Which is the experienced machine gun team. So he hits on a 5. He is 3 hexes away. So we subtract 2. So his range is a 7. So he's a 7. So we need 7s or higher to hit my experienced machine gun team. And he got 2 3s. He misses, and that will end his turn. This anti-tank gun will also not move off, so he gets the same, and he will also attack the experienced machine gun team. He has a 5. He's 3 hexes away. So you subtract 2 from each die roll, attacking at range 3. So we also need 7s to hit my guys. And he also misses with a 2 and a 6. So, and he is done. So the anti-tank guns tried to knock out these guys, but couldn't do it. And you know what? I already screwed that up anyway, because they were supposed to fire the HE, not the armor piercing. So they were supposed to fire the 7s. So they really needed 9s to hit, but they missed anyway. So, okay, we're still learning. Okay, so that takes care. There are no armored cars. We go to rifle, half track, and machine gun. The rifle, let's see, there are 2 rifle divisions, and they will retreat. And they just say retreat. So they retreat into 1 of 2 hexes. And in this case, I'm going to roll odd, even. So this rifle team will move into here. And he can't attack, so he's going to hold there. This rifle team he can attack and he can retreat to here or here. That's heavy. That is light cover. So he's going to retreat into light cover and he will not attack since he can't attack. So that takes care of them. Now we have the two mortar teams. The mortar teams just retreat. So they retreat. And of course they can't attack if they move. So this mortar team can retreat into odd even. And he'll retreat into here. And he will not attack. Because mortar teams cannot move it. They cannot move and attack. This mortar team will move into here. 3. And he will move into this. Excuse me, and that will move there. So the Polish forces see a machine gun platoon, a machine gun squad, a rifle squad. They also see a big time Panzer I and an SDKFC armored car. So they decide to pull off. So they decide to back off a little bit. Could be a little difficult because I'm going to have to chase them, and deep mud doesn't help me much. It doesn't help me much. All right, so now it's our turn. So we have slow move and attack. Let's see what we're going to do here. So the rifle team, 1006, the machine gun team, will move into the barn, as well as these guys. They will not attack. Check line of sight when attacked or attacking, correct? They will not attack, so I'll hold them off. The Panzer I and the armored car can only move 1 hex. They are friendly AP units because they're armor piercing units. These guys are not, they can actually move 2 because only friendly armor piercing units, which are the vehicles, these guys could move 2 if they had that ability. So the Panzer I, we're going to get him into light cover. And the armored car has a speed of 2, but unfortunately can only move 1. So he'll move into that cover. And neither one can attack. And that is it for that. That is it for that. So we'll go ahead and we got to chase them down. So deep mud kind of makes things difficult. Remember, if they move off the board, they're considered destroyed. So that could help us as well. They're considered destroyed. We got to get this artillery team down to 7 for half, or 3 to destroy it. Pretty much, we really need to take out the anti-tank guns. It's pretty much what we got to do. Okay, so that's it for that turn. So now we'll go to battle turn 2. Battle turn 2, do I want to use any of my tactics here? The machine gun team, -2 attack when moving. And the machine gun team could do some serious damage on an anti-tank team. On an anti-tank. The anti-tank guns are a 1 defense. Let's see, -2 attacking, 2 stress if move and attack. We got to take out, we pretty much have to take out the anti-tank guns. I am going to, for the machine gun team, I am going to, and my commander for the machine gun team has a +1 when he hits. For the machine gun team, I'm going to use the tactic for 1006. I'm going to use the tactic. And I'm going to move him out of the barn because I got it. Obviously, I have to get close. I can't just stay here. So the machine gun team is going to go ahead and move out into the open. And actually, we got to go ahead and reset these guys. So he'll be able to attack. He'll be able to attack on his slow. So I'm going to move him into the open. And if I try to attack, it would be -2 when moving and 2 stress. He can take the stress. The stress of the machine gun team is only a 2, and he's okay on a 5. he can take the stress. We got to take out we got to take out one of those guys. We got to start getting to these Polish forces as quickly as possible. He's got an attack range of 1. If I don't move, and then of course I get smacked by the anti-tank guns, you know what? I got to do this. So we're going to move him up here. We're going to give my commander 4 stress. Well, 2 stress. He now becomes a 4, but he's still okay. And -2 attack when moving. So here's what we got. So he's going to attack one of these anti-tank guns. He's going to attack one of the anti-tank guns. So he has 1,000. So he is a HE attack of 1. He moved to attack. He's going to attack when moving. So it's -2 is a 3. But the commander, Weidman, is average, and at 1+, he has a +1. So we get 2 attacks on this guy, on this anti-tank gun, and he needs 2s or higher to hit it. Boom, boom. So we hit him twice. So attacks this anti-tank gun. The anti-tank gun is is in clear cover. The only way he survives both these hits is on 2 1s. Nope. And kaboom, he's out of there. So we already take out 1 anti-tank gun, and his turn is done. Now for 1,002, the experienced rifle team, his HE attack is 5. His HE attack is 5, -2 when moving, can only use armor piercing at range 0. 1 stress if move and attack, and he has a tactic. I am going to use that tactic on him as well. And I'm going to move him closer to here instead. But I am not going to, I might as well attack. Now, if I move an attack, it's a stress. And right now he's at a stress of 4. So if I move any further, if I take the stress, he's going to be shaken. So I'm not going to do that. So he's not going to attack, but I'm just going to move him into position to make an attack on his slow turn. So he will stay put there. So he will not attack. Now, of course, and I can reset him back because he will go again on his slow turn. So, okay, so now I have a command tactic, which this SDKFZ has, and the command tactic, and he can give a tactic to another one. So I'm going to use the command tactic from 721. He's going to give it to the Panzer. So I got to get him into the fight to move. And I'm going to get him into some heavy cover here. And his range is 0 to 1. He can't hit anybody. So now he can maybe make, on his slow turn, he may be able to do something. So he will stay put. And he, however, so all of these guys move with tactics. He, has to wait till his, and he's fast. He's fast also, so he can move. He's fast. So I forgot he was fast, not slow. So he actually should have moved first. And I'll go ahead and move him. And I'll move him into the barn as well for defense. So I think that is good for the fast movement. So we use 3 tactics to use fast movement. Now let's see what the Polish want to do. So Poles, remember, have a -2 to the card. A 2 -2 is a 0, so it's going to be the same thing. Retreat to cover or retreat and retreat. So the Polish are getting out of dodge. So let's see what happens here. So the anti-tank retreat to cover. They don't retreat to cover. This one here doesn't retreat to cover because there is no cover for him to retreat to. So he holds, but he gets to attack. His armor piercing rating is a 7, and he is going to go after, his high-end explosive is a 7, and he's going to go after the machine gun team here, which is over here at 1,006. So he's 2 hexes away from it. So he's going to attack 1006. And his armor pierce, his high range is a 7. He's attacking from 2 hexes away. So we subtract 1, which makes it an 8. So he needs 8s to hit him. And he gets a 7 and 3, and he fails. This this anti-tank gun has the same thing. He cannot retreat to cover, so he holds, but he will also attack here. So he also needs 8s. And he got a 10. He got a hit. Now we have the 1006. His defense is a 3. So with 3 or lower, he negates it, and nope, he's going to take the damage. So let's see what we got. And we drew exposed. So that doesn't really hurt him that much, but he's now exposed. So that means now on the next turn, you add 2 to attack to hit him, unless he moves. So +2 to be hit starting next turn until the unit moves. So we'll see what happens there. And this guy is done. Next anti-tank is this, and he also retreats to cover, but there's no cover to retreat to. So he holds, but he gets to hit. And he will also attack 1006 since it could do the highest damage to him. So, and he hits on a straight 7. So 7s are higher. He will hit the machine gun team. The 4 misses. The 9 doesn't. And we need a 3 to avoid it. Nope. And he will take another damage. And it is Commander wounded. So Glessner took a wound. He's all right, but if he gets another wound, he is dead. So he has Commander wounded, so he will be dead if he gets another one of those. No stress when a commander is wounded. When a commander is wounded. So he's wounded, but he's still there, and he is done. This, and we already destroyed 1 anti-tank gun. So now we go to the rifle units and half machine. They just retreat, which is bad, really, for them retreating because they're not going to get a chance to hit. So this guy will retreat into cover, and he takes himself out of range, so he won't do anything. This rifle team has to retreat. It's straight retreat, so he goes into there, and he's out of range. Now we got the mortar team. And you know what? I screwed up. I treated the anti-tank gun supposed to be retreat. You see what I did here? I screwed up. I treated the anti-tank guns retreat to cover. The anti-tank guns are just supposed to retreat. See what I do here? I'm not. So, see, I already messed it up. So, in that regards, then, I'm going to leave it as it is. And if that comes up again, we'll know. So, pretty much, really, these 2 anti-tank arms should have moved off the board. And they were already gone, already considered destroyed. But since we didn't do it right, it's supposed to be retreat, not retreat to cover. Because I forgot AT is anti-tank unit, and it says AT gun over here. So that was my mistake. But we'll leave it as it is. We'll know for next time. So now we got the mortar team. So the mortar teams just retreat. So this mortar team retreats. So he is off the board, and he is considered destroyed. And this mortar team retreats. And because he moved, he can't attack. And so he retreats back there. So these Polish forces do not want to deal with these Germans today. All right. So that's theirs. Now it's time for me. We have another anti-tank gun in range and 1006, which is the experienced machine gun team. He has an HE of 1. He has an HE of 1. You can't go any. It's going to be an automatic hit no matter what, because they are within 1 hex range, so they do not have to move. So the experienced machine gun team, I'll roll anyway, but they can't miss. So better. All right. And now the anti-tank gun needs 1s to survive, and it does not. And this one is blown up. Boom. Kaboom! Another anti-tank gun bites the dust, and this one has moved. 1002. Now, 1002 is an experienced rifle team, and we got to go ahead and get one of these guys, I think, even though it looks like they'll probably retreat off the board. I think I'd rather use these to go after them, but let's see what we got to do here. We're going to move 1002 up here, get him closer to him there as well in case they don't move off the board or come forward. That's the experienced rifle team. And his range is a 1. And he's going to go after the mortar team. Or can he? -2 an attack, 1 stress move and attack. Nope, he can't. If I moves, it's a stress, and then he becomes shaken. So I'm not going to have the rifle team attack. He's just going to move up here, prepared to attack. The SDKFZ, his speed is a 2, but because he's in deep mud, he can only move 1 space. So he's going to come up here and join here, the SDKFZ. His range is 0 to 1. He will not attack. And the Panzer I will also move up here and head for the rifle team up that way. I don't think we should lose here, but we'll see what happens. And that's it. So we knocked out another anti-tank gun, and the mortar team retreated off the map, which is considered destroyed. And we reset the counters, and we'll begin turn 3. So we'll go to battle turn 3 now. We have no more fast or anything like that. We have no more fast. So we go straight, and no more tactics to utilize. So we're chasing these Polish forces off the map here. They're all retreating pretty much due to the mud. They just don't feel like dealing with the German forces here. So let's see here. So deep mud. All right. So let's see. So now we roll for the enemy attack. Let's see if they're gonna stay and fight. Let's see if they're gonna stay and fight. So again, remember, -2 from enemy tactical rolls. Still a 2. It's a 0. So it's still gonna be. They're not staying and fighting. These guys want nothing to do with us. So let's do it again. So tank, AT unit, and armored car. There are none. That was my mistake in the first turn as well. So pretty much, it's going to pretty much end the way it should have anyway. So we'll know for next time, people, as I'm still learning the game. But this game, I'll tell you, this is great. The leader series is so good. And U-boat leader is going to be fun to play when we get that. That's next after we complete the Poland campaign. So retreat to cover, tank, AT armored car. There is none. So rifle, half track machine gun. The rifle unit retreats, so he's off the board. So he's gone. This rifle team is off the board. He's gone. This is going to be a really short battle. Okay. And then we go to the truck. Okay, and there's no half track and there's no machine gun. Then we go to the truck, mortar, and anti-tank gun. Well, guess what? They leave. Because it says straight retreat, and they leave. And the battle is over. They wanted nothing to do with us. The battle is over. Short battle, very short battle. The battle is over. And that's it. We get the two victory points for winning. And we win the battle. We actually did destroy 2 anti-tank guns and a mortar team. But as it says in retreat, if it is already in a topmost hex, move it off the battlefield and treat it as being destroyed. So these Polish forces wanted nothing to do with us today. They wanted nothing to do with us. So that's it. The battle is over. My commander was wounded. I can use an SO to heal him, which I can heal him, which I probably will do. And the machine gun team was exposed, but no damage. The SDKFZ and the Panzer ones did pretty much put, sometimes the short battle is a good thing. You're right, Brian. So that is it. As the Germans rushed the Poles off, they just didn't want to deal in deep mud. And that's what the difference was. That deep mud. See, there's so many ways to play the game, and it's really never going to be the same game twice due to the event cards and all that stuff. All right, so the battle is over. So let's see what the now let's see what we get for the event card, for the second event card. We read the bottom. Oh, and we gain 5 SO points. There we go. We gain 5 special option points. It says new Panzer, but we use the bottom one here, and we gain 5 special option points. Oh, that's awesome. So I get to add 5 more SO points on this for this battle. So I get plus 5 points. So I'll have a few more points to spend for week 3, and that could be huge when I'm going ahead. Then that could be huge because in week 3 we're going to have to probably have to fight the large armor force, depending on how many points we need. So we're going to gain. We destroyed the battalion, so we're going to gain 2 victory points for it. So that will go ahead and move us from a 4 to a 6. We're still dismal, but the next battle is going to be against the mobile force, and they're worth 3 victory points, which if we can at least beat them, that'll bring us to poor. And then we'll have to choose a unit that can get me at least 4 victory points to get us to good to complete week 3. I don't think I'll have to fight 2 battles in week 3, probably just 1 for this campaign. So that was a good card to get. Gain 5 SO points. That's huge, and I can use that. I can use that for the start of the next week. That's big. So a nice job by these guys here. There might be a couple promotions coming up. I'll do that off camera. So and the scout force, the 3S scout force is gone. He is eliminated. These Polish forces decided, no, we're not going to fight you here. We're going to get out of here, and that's it. So the Germans hold the battlefield once again. It only took about 3 turns. Not even. I didn't even get to fire twice. I got to fire twice, and that was it. They split. So, as you said, that's how it goes here for our battle here of Tiger Leader. And like I said, if anybody here that's not knows this game better than me, please place in comments what I did wrong, and I'll try to make sure I get it right. This is not inside pitch. We can't really make up any. You really can't do. I really don't want to do any house rules. I want to play the game. I really want to play the game rules as written. So, I mean, if there's any house rules, I mean, there can be a couple. I'm sure some people do have them. But I really want to play the game rules as written as I learn it. And that's it. I do apologize for the short battle, but I have a feeling the next one could be more interesting. The next one is going to be, the next battle we're going to take on for week 2 is going to be 6S. And this is the Mobile Reserve Force. 4 tanks, 4 half-tracks, 4 rifle, and 2 machine guns. So this is going to be a much more different battle. And... and the mobile reserve at the end of the move battalion step, you advance this battalion if it doesn't survive. So the mobile reserve. So we got to go ahead and an enemy rear. So we got to see what happens here. So I know we got to. So that's our next battle. That'll be tomorrow night. It is Friday night. So it's Friday night, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night. That'll be our next battle. Well, guys, I know you're probably hoping for a bigger battle, but this was pretty quick, and sometimes you get that. So, Brian Patterson, Keith White, Steeler fan, thank you for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way off the making your way off the battlefield. Subscribe if you've not done so, and please make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more World War II Tiger Leader action. Battle number 2 of week 2 of the Poland 1939 campaign. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Am I still doing Arkham Horror? Yes, I'm still doing Arkham Horror. I will continue to do that. I'm not giving anything up, okay? But But right now, as I said, sometimes we just, I'm like ID Jester. He plays a couple of games, stops, try some new games, stops. So that's how I'm doing this. And I'm trying to get as much as this goes into possible, because when I start the new baseball season, I don't know how I'm going to do 2 games a night. So, and of course, 1981 for Inside Pitch does not start until October 4th. So I'm trying to get as much of fun into this as possible, because I don't know how I'm going to do 2 streams a day. One, but who knows? You never know what I might try to do here. If I wasn't working, I wouldn't have this discussion. But thank you all for joining me, guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night, and I love every one of you guys. All you guys are terrific. Who watches this later, thank you again for joining me, and have a good night.